In Flutter, one of the first things that confuses people is this question: when should I use a stateless widget? And when should I use a stateful widget? And honestly, people overthink this way too much. Here's the truth. The difference is simple once you think in real usage, not theory. A stateless widget is a widget that does not manage its own state. It simply receives data and shows UI. Nothing inside it changes by itself. If the data changes, it doesn't update anything internally, it just rebuilds with new input. Text is stateless, icons are stateless, rows, columns, padding, all stateless. So here's the real rule. If a widget does not need to change itself, make it stateless. And yes, most widgets should be stateless. Now let's talk about stateful widgets. A stateful widget is a widget that can change while it's on the screen. It has its own state data that lives with the widget. When that data changes, the widget rebuilds. This happens when you call setate. But here's the key rule people miss. Use a stateful widget only when the widget itself owns the change, not when data comes from an API, not when data comes from a parent, only when this widget is responsible for updating the value. Let me give you a real example. Imagine a button that increments a counter. You tap the button, the number increases, that value belongs to this widget. So this should be stateful. Now imagine a profile card showing a username. The name comes from somewhere else. This widget just displays it. Nothing changes here. So this should be stateless. Now about setate. Setate does not redraw the entire app. It simply tells Flutter, something changed here, rebuild this part. That's why Flutter is fast. Now here's a very common beginner mistake: making everything stateful. Stateful does not mean better. Stateless is simpler, cleaner, and easier to reuse. Another mistake: putting state too high in the widget tree. Here's a pro rule: state should live as low as possible. Lower state means smaller rebuilds. Smaller rebuilds mean better performance. So if you're ever confused, ask yourself three questions. Does this widget change itself? Does it own the data? Does it call setate? If yes, stateful. If no, stateless. That's it. Most widgets you write should be stateless. Stateful widgets should be rare and intentional. Once you follow these rules, Flutter stops feeling confusing and starts feeling clean and predictable.